welcome to Sherdil IT Academy. In this section, we will discuss about the Virtual Private Cloud or the VPC. This is the one of the AWS services and related to the network domain. So what actually VPC is? So Amazon Virtual Private Cloud allow users to use AWS resources in the virtual network. The user can customize the virtual network environment as they like, such as selecting their own IP address range, subnets, route table, network gateways, internet gateways, and anything related to the network side like the L3 and L2, the OSI layer. So these components include the subnets, the routes, the route table, the CIDR block, the VPN gateway, customer gateway, and VPN connection. If you want to be yourself good in the VPC, first you need to be good yourself in the subnet side. If you are weak in the subnet, this topic will be hard for you. So what's the benefit to use this VPC, the Amazon Virtual Private Cloud? First benefit is it's easy to use. It's ease of creating a VPC. It's a very simple step. You just need to create a CIDR block. You just need to add a route. You just need to create a subnet, internet gateway, and just so on. And if you want to get more easiness, and if you don't want to puzzle all of these components, so what you need to do, you just go to the VPC dashboard, put it the CIDR block, put the VPC name, and then create it. It's two-step function, and then VPC will be in front of you. But in some circumstances, what you need to do, you need to create a custom VPC as per the customer requirement or your company requirement. Like if you want to add a custom route, and if you want to connect your on-premises data center with your Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, you need to do some modification on the newly created VPC or the existing VPC. Related to the price for Amazon VPC, there is no pricing for Amazon VPC, any component except the NAT gateway. NAT gateway will incur charges which is approximate $0.045, but rest of the components are free of cost. You can create and delete as much as you can. There is no charges. Create an Amazon VPC on AWS scalable infrastructure and specify its private IP range from any range you choose. Second thing is expand VPC by adding secondary IP range. What does it mean by secondary IP range add? It means that either you can block the one CIDR block into multiple subnets, like you create the /16 CIDR block, and you can create multiple /24 subnets under the /16 CIDR block. And the second thing is you can either also create a /24 domain CIDR block and the subnet, but if it's full, you can add the secondary CIDR block and the subnet and then route to each other. It's totally depend on you, but the Amazon recommend is to create a CIDR block with /16 and then create a multiple subnet with /24. Each /24 subnet should be reside on single availability zone. One more thing you should know, that each subnet should be available in single availability zone. One subnet cannot be spanned in multiple availability zone. It means if you create a subnet in availability zone 1A, you cannot use that subnet in 1B or 1C, either in multiple region, either within the region. So that is the very important point and one of the exam question. Bridge VPC an on-site IT infrastructure with an encrypted VPN connection. It means that you can connect your on-premises center and on-premises firewall with your existing or newly created VPC using encrypted VPN connection. So you can use that. Privately connect to customize service or SaaS solution provided by AWS Private Link. You can use Private Link with the direct connect or the VPC side. You can use VPC flow log to log information about network traffic going in and out of network interface in VPC. Network interface in VPC means your EC2 interfaces. So EC2 interfaces is basically directly connected with your subnet, and then whenever your machine ingress and egress any traffic, you can get the logs with the help of VPC flow log service. Amazon VPC is a networking layer of Amazon EC2, like it's using the OSI layer 2 and layer 3. It is logically isolated from the other virtual network in the AWS cloud. Launch AWS resources such as Amazon EC2 in your VPC. What does it mean? It means if you have more than one virtual private cloud, either within the region, either within the AWS account with multiple region, you can use one identical subnets and one identical CIDR block in multiple VPC. Like if you are using the 172.16.00/16 CIDR block in VPC 1 in North Virginia, if you create the VPC 2 in North Virginia, you can use the same CIDR block, but it will not be overlap. Why? Because it's logically separated, it's isolated from each other. So you can easily use the same CIDR in multiple area. User can specify an IP address range for a VPC, add subnet, associate security group, and configure route tables. Means user can use the IP range with the VPC in terms of the adding subnet. Associate the specific security group means you can add the specific IP range and IP specific subnets in the security group, so that the appropriate subnets can ingress the traffic to and from the EC2 machine. Rest of the subnets and the IP will be revoked and blocked to access their specific subnet. So in this diagram we can see there is the Amazon account in the gray line. Under the Amazon account, we considered the one of the region, we consider the US 1 region like North Virginia in the yellow line. So as we discussed earlier in the past lecture, that each region have at least 2 or more than 2 availability zone. So as you can see in the AWS account in gray color, VPC in the specific region in yellow color, and in the VPC we have 3 availability zone. And how it's work, this is the internet connected and this is a routing table. So whenever you create a VPC, there is one routing table exists called the main route table. Main route table is technically called the private route table, and this route are already exist in each of the routing table whenever you create in the VPC. Like if you create the 3 route table, you will find this route in all of the route table on the appropriate VPC. You don't need to add the specific route in the specific VPC. So /16 means if you have more than /24 subnets in multiple availability zone, they all can communicate each other due to this route /16. So if you summarize the route /16, it means they all /24 routes subnets can talk each other. So if you create one machine in one subnet in availability zone 1, and if you create another route, another subnet in availability zone B along with the machine, they both can talk each other due to this route. VPC and subnet. After creating a VPC, user can add one or more subnet in each availability zone. Create a subnet, specify the CIDR block for the subnet, which subset of the VPC CIDR block. It means whenever you create a subnet, it definitely a sub part of any of the CIDR block which is the relevant to the specific VPC. And availability zone, as we already learned, that are the distinct location that are engineered to be isolated from failure in other availability zone. So in this video we discuss the basics of the VPC and subnet, and then in the next video we will resume the VPC part. So stay tuned. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Sherdil IT Academy, and welcome to VPC part 2. In last video we discussed about the basics of the VPC and the relevant component. So we will resume the VPC topic from this video. So on the specific diagram we can see it's a more complex than before. So is the gray line is the AWS, and yellow line is a specific region. Let's we suppose a North Virginia region. So in this region we have 3 availability zone, and in 3 availability zone each have more than 1 subnets and 1 machines which is connected to the router or the route table. It's actually a route table. There is no router concept in the VPC. Is actually a route table, and its route table is basically connected to the internet gateway. So as you can see, there is a public route table, there is a private route table, or the third one is a hybrid route table. So in the private route table, as you can see, that is directly connected with the router, and router goes traffic to the internet gateway, and the internet gateway move the traffic to the internet, the first one. And if you look the second availability zone with the subnet 10.0.10/24 while the actual subnet is 10.0.0/16. So in this traffic is basically move it doesn't move to any route table or the gateway. It's isolated from the route table and gateway, right? And the third one is basically connected to the free. Now the second availability zone and the subnet is directly connected to the router, right? And the third one is basically directly connected to the VGW. VGW means virtual gateway. We use virtual gateway whenever we need to connect from on-premises data center to the VPC, so that we can use the virtual gateway. So how am I confident that it is connected to the public, it is connected to the private, and is connected to the data center? Let's see the route table. In route table, the destination is 10.0.0/16 local. The second route table, which is connected basically the second availability zone, as you can see, the same destination and same target. And if we see the third route table, which is basically for the virtual gateway, the same route, the 10.0.0/16/local. It means that these 3 subnets and these 3 availability zone are communicate each other due to the first route. Now let's jump into the second one. Second one is basically the IPv6, so that we can skip. Now how I'm sure that this is a public route, public subnet? How? Due to this route, as you can see, this is the 0.0.0/0, and it is the target is IGW, means internet gateway. So whenever we connect the specific subnet with the internet gateway, we need to add this 0.0 default route in the specific route table. So as you can compare, this 0.0 are not available in the second route table, and even in the third route table, but the target is different, so that I will discuss it later. First I need to complete the first one. So this is basically directly connected to the internet gateway. This is the basically IGW internet gateway. So all of the traffic and all of the machines that are exist in the availability zone A will be moved towards the router, technically called the route table, then will move towards the internet gateway, and then will move toward the internet. So these all communicate are able due to this route table and the specific appropriate route. Then move towards the second route table. Second route table is directly connected and directly attached to the zone B subnet and availability zone B. So in the specific subnet, any machine which are exist on the subnet 2 on the zone B can communicate with any machine belongs to zone A and zone C. Why? Because of the first subnet. Then the second is the same for the local for the IPv6. So IP4 and IPv6 both are same route, but the IP protocol are changed. So there is not mentioned that this subnet and this machines are go to the internet gateway and go to the virtual gateway. So this is totally isolated but can communicate with each other. The third one, this is the hybrid sector, the hybrid subnet. The first route is the same as we already discussed in the zone B route table and zone A route table. The second one is actually the IPv6, the same thing, and the last thing is 0000/0, but this default route basically mention not IGW but the virtual gateway, VGW. VGW is this one, the virtual private gateway. So this virtual gateway is basically connect the customer gateway and customer premises with the VPN with the VPC through the VPN connection. So I hope I am able to describe all of the diagram briefly. Any doubt? Currently AWS do not support IPv6 traffic over the VPN connection. Regardless of the type of the subnet, the internal IPv4 address range of the subnet is always private. AWS do not announce the address block to the internet, right? User have a limit of the number of VPC and the subnet in AWS account. So what is the limit? You can create up to 5 virtual private cloud in each region, not an account but in each region. Like if you are exist in the North Virginia, you can create 5 VPC, but if you need more than 5 VPC, you just need to open a support ticket, the new increase limit, and then within 48 hours your increased limit will be approved, and then you will be able to create more than 5 VPC on the specific region. Okay, let's discuss another scenario. We have a 2 AWS account, VPC or the same account but 2 different VPC. So you can consider any of them. So we have VPC 1, VPC with 1 CIDR block and VPC with 2 CIDR block. So as you can see, the VPC 1 have the same subnet 10.0.0.0/16 and VPC 2 have the same subnet 10.0.0.0/16. In the following example, the VPC on the left have a single CIDR block and 2 subnet, like just like this. This is the CIDR block 10.0.0.0/16, and these are the appropriate subnet on the specific VPC. And in the right hand side, we have two CIDR block and 3 different subnet. These 3 subnets are actually belongs to these 2 CIDR blocks. So you can create as you want, depend on your requirement, depend on your scenario. But AWS recommend at least 1 subnet in each availability zone in order to create the high availability and redundancy. If you do not create each subnet in each availability zone, whenever the incident will happen, you will not be able to use that availability zone, because the availability zone is associated with the subnet. So whenever you create a machine, you will need to use the specific subnet that are directly connected to the availability zone. So in this third scenario, we have one region with two zone and one CIDR block. The CIDR block is 172.31.00/16, and we have two different subnets, 172.31.00/20 and 172.31.16.0/20. This is zone A and this is zone B. Both are connected to the destination local and have the same internet gateway, the 0000/0. Accessing to the internet, so both subnets and both zone can access to the subnet using the same route table, using the same route on the same time. So default VPC include an internet gateway, and each default subnet is a public subnet. These are actually a default subnet type. Whenever you open any of the AWS account, AWS will give you the free created VPC, so you don't need to create any additional VPC. So these instances can communicate with the internet through the internet gateway. So whenever you create this EC2 instance in zone A or zone B, you can easily connect connected to the internet using this route table. Let's discuss about the VPC limit. In each region, you will have up to 5 non-default Amazon VPC per AWS account. Means 1 default and 5 non-default means the custom VPC that you will create by your own. User can have up to 4 secondary IP address range per VPC. User can create up to 200 subnets per Amazon VPC. Per Amazon VPC means each have 200 subnets. So if you create the 5 VPC, it means you can create up to 1000 subnets. User can have up to 5 Amazon VPC elastic IP address per AWS account per region. Elastic IP means permanent IP which will never be changed regardless you reboot or stop the machine. User can have up to 10 hardware VPN connection per Amazon VP. Hardware VPN connection means the connection which you will create from your VPC to your on-premises data center on your on-premises office. So you can increase this service limit by opening a support ticket. These are the integrated other services which will work internally. It means if you are using if you want to connect one Amazon service to with another without using the internet, you can use the VPC endpoints. So these are some of the services that you can connect with your VPC using the endpoints and the interfaces. So we will perform the hands-on lab in next video. So in this hands-on lab, first we will create the VPC with the public and private subnet using VPC wizard or dashboard. Then we will move towards a little bit complex environment. We will create a VPC by using the individual VPC component and verify. Create a VPC with public subnet using AWS CLI, and then last but not the least, we will do the last CloudFormation based deployment at the end of this course. I hope you enjoy a lot. Let's move towards the practical section. So let's meet in next video. Thank you.